Well, we're finally here. Zombie Galacti is officially in Marble Snap, and right now for us, we are about 3 hours away from when it ends up being my time that the card releases. And I have been literally waiting for this card all month because of one deck. And then I thought of another one, and I'm really excited. So let's talk about Zombie Galacti, who is a 7/4 start of game. Choose 6 other cards in your deck. On reveal, transform those cards into copies of this. So a couple of things here that stand out. Obviously 7 cost. What? That's with no reduction built into it. So you either need magic, you need extra energy, or cost reduction. But then simultaneously, you're also wanting to get this higher than 4 power, because it'll completely erase the card that is tagged. So the other 11 cards, 6 of them are gonna have a haze around it, and those are Galacti cards, where if Zombie Galacti hits the board, they will all turn into 7/4 Zombie Galacti right away. Unless if it's a 7/5, because you gave it an Okoye buff, or you played it with Galacta on turn 6 because you got some extra energy out there and now it's a 7/6, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So all of those cards will transform into the buffed version of whatever this is. Now, 2 synergies have come to mind. One of them I thought of a month ago. Like on season release, we started deck building and created the deck. Like I said, I've been waiting to play all month. On the 2nd of October, Zombie Galacti discard was born. And the whole purpose of the deck is to get Zombie Galacti to reappear as a 12 power summon via Khonshu. So the whole deck is idealized on one combo. This is just like you hit the combo. It's get Khonshu to bring back a 12 power Zombie Galacti. That's it. That's the whole deck. You do it or you don't. And then all 6 of those cards that were tagged as Zombie Galacti also turn into it. So remember, it's Zombie Galacti is a 7/12 plus 6 others. So up to a total of 7 Galacti on the board, but you can kind of just refer to them as Hulks because they're 12 power in this situation. So the whole idea is Wasp, Yellow Jacket, and Makari are all free plays to get on the board. Just she plays herself, get them on the board because you want them down. You don't want them in your hand, because you want your Blade, your Lady Sif, and your MODOK trying to hit that Khonshu exclusively. So sure, you can get things out of the way. The MODOK's gonna hit the X-23, or the Wolverine, or the Proxima Midnight, but all 3 of those go down onto the board. They never hit the discard pile. The only things that could potentially hit the discard pile that you want to hit the discard pile are Zombie Galacti, and maybe Ghost Rider as a backup plan. Ghost Rider's here to bring back a Zombie Galacti if, for some reason, you couldn't get it to be the one that revives, because the only 2 things that'll hit that pile are Ghost Rider and Zombie Galacti. So if Khonshu brings back a 4/12 Ghost Rider, it'll bring back then a 7/4 Zombie Galacti, and all of these get a little bit of a buff. But you bring back that 7/12 Zombie Galacti, and they're all gonna turn into 12 power cards. There's no ongoing effects that are getting revealed. There's no secondary on reveal that's gonna get erased or anything. It's just 12 powers raining on the board, free plays to get down on the board. Literally, half of the deck plays itself or hits the board without you having to touch the card. That's the deck. And then all of us went, now what? Because outside of that, how are you supposed to get this card down on the board? There's a lot of energy ramp simultaneous to a lot of buffing that needs to happen for this card. And then I thought of something different. And it's the synergy I think I'm most proud of, and it's Cersei. Because what happens with Cersei is it can take all of the cards that have that tag, and maybe you don't buff Zombie Galacti. Maybe all those cards just turn into 7/4s, and if they're all lower than 4, like Wasp, Yellow Jacket, King E3, Pixie, Lockjaw, Mobius, you know what? You're feeling pretty good about that. You're feeling pretty good about that. But, keyword, What if you could turn them all into 8/12s? Because Cersei transforms other characters here into random ones that cost 1 more. The only random one at 8 cost is Death. So Death is an 8/12. And that's another way we can cheat this. So sure, we Cersei the Zombie Galacti Wasp, which went from being a 0/1 to a 7/4 to now an 8/12. That's a lane-winning type of scenario. And with the magic of Pixie and Mobius in here, so it's a nice tech piece as well as reinforcing what you want to do, you have 2 game plans. You have all in on your hammers with the whole hammers package, all 4 of them, but you also have a Zombie Galacti package that could bring upwards of 43 power in 1 lane for a 5 cost. Yes, Cersei has some potential here. Then there's Never Cook and Snap. This is reinforcing the idea that Cersei is an out. It is a potential out for that line, as I just discussed in the prior deck. But what this also is doing is providing ramp and buff. You've got Electro, you've got Hope Summers, you've got Fastos. You've got all of these cards that are going to reduce the potential cost of that Zombie Galacti, or get Zombie Galacti out on the board faster and earlier. The idea on this one is to actually get Zombie Galacti down on the board by turn 5. That's a way you want to do it. That's ideally the way that you want to do it. Outside of that, you're never 100% sure because you have a variety of different lines. You have your Hope Summers and you have a generally good package in Magic and with Merlin and Sentry or the Cersei line, and then just good stats. You can get rid of your Hood via the Merlin as well. Electro, you really aren't playing unless if you're going to definitely Cersei it or definitely Zombie Galacti it the following turn. Because Electro on Hope Summers means Zombie Galacti can be played as a singular card on turn 5. Lastly is Galactus. It's just a really fun name, where it's a hand buff deck. It's a full-on buff everything that you have deck, and then you've got one of 2 options. You can either A, go ahead and play Galactus in one of the lanes, or B, play the Zombie Galacti that you have buffed via potentially Chavez, Okoye, Toxidoxy, Nakia, Viv Vision, Mr. Fantastic First Steps, Fastos, Gwenpool, Galacta. They all can buff. But in addition to the buff, you also have Mr. Fantastic First Steps, Fastos, and Sarah giving you energy cheat. It's a lot of power being added onto very mid cards, but it's a fun play line alt where you've got these 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, all of these cards that are like, but Zombie Galacti by the end of this could be like 7-10, 7-14 at max. Like, okay, I'll flip that. So I have no idea. It might be way too difficult. It might be absolutely fantastic. But we're going to time travel from right now to hours from now. Okay, so we've had the card now for 3.5 hours. Right? Yeah, 3.5 hours. Shortest test yet since starting the Good or Garbage series. And we need to talk. Okay? We need to talk. I'm just gonna cut to the chase. Looking at the card, the deck that I thought was going to do absolutely fantastic started 0-6, and I said, bad draws, not getting enough of a draw engine, that's fine. Immediately went over and started tweaking the draw engine with Adam Warlock and Crystal and trying to figure it out. And then it still never felt like good. Again, I know these are small test numbers, but hear me out a second. Hear me out. Just hear me out, okay? Then I started the Galactus and I realized it wasn't feeling right. Did a couple of more tweaks. I'm like, okay, this is starting to feel a little better here. Feeling a little better here. Got it. I tried the Never Cook and Snap, which oddly, in my opinion, did really well. And then I started the Hammers deck and I was like, you know what? We need to stop. We need to stop. Because I have never assessed a card so quickly since starting the Good or Garbage series and have it perform that badly that quickly. And we had a couple of opponents that did some fun, cheeky things. The symbiote Spider-Man Shuri Zombie Galacti thing. Get some ramp out there like Luna Snow. Play it as your turn 6 card. What I've learned so far is that this card has to be approached in a similar all-in style as you would War Machine Legion and Storm, as you would Mr. Negative when you don't have Esme. Fallen One is another great comparison as well. Because when you make the combo truly pop and you're all in on the combo does the combo thing, and it's really cool. This is not a card you can just straight up Khonshu or straight up, like just cheat it out, do it the fast way. Someone in the chat earlier today said it brilliantly, which was when Khonshu came out, there was all this copium around the idea of Khonshu bringing back a 312 brood to put 36 power in a lane, right? And it was that kind of stuff that as we were playing it and as we were progressing through it, I was realizing the combination of needing to reduce the cost plus buff the power was much more difficult than I anticipated. I really wanted this card to be fun. And to be clear, it was. The actual idea of deck building with this card and making it do the cheeky thing, if you will, is actually really cool. But any card right now that's going to require as much input as this does is not ready for this meta of Marble Snap at the time of its release. What I mean by that is we're in a combo meta. You know, we're in a mid-range, everyone's playing a bunch of stuff. There's no reason to want to play Zombie Galacti over a Destroy deck, over a classic discard deck right now. You can do Move if you're ready for it. Like, there's so many other things. Cerebro? Like, there's so many other things that you would want to play over the amount of investment this card would take. Think about a Cerebro deck right now. You could play Cerebro 2 and put 8 power to 12 cards on the board. Like that on turn 6. Just by playing 2 cards. Cerebro, Mystique. And you have all the way till turn 6 to get both of them. So you know if you have it or if you don't. Zombie Galacti, to get to 8 power, you have to buff that card to 8 power, then create an energy cheat simultaneously. So whether it's in hand or in deck, you have other things you need to make it do, and then that's only for 6 other cards. This is a card that, as expected, you're going to build into, and you're specifically going to build around. But 7-4 is not worth building around right now at release. I am so sad that this card is garbage. It is garbage. I'm so sad about that. Now, you're gonna see clippable moments. You're gonna see the 18 power Zombie Galacti flips. You're gonna see the negative Zombie Galacti interactions, which we're seeing so far. You know, we went up against one, and Esme Cuckoo was a great way to say, ooh, that's a cool way to get out the Zombie Galacti a little earlier. I think the bigger question is, why? Why would you do that? There's no reason for it. So I try to be honest, and I'm disappointed in this card. I really wanted this card to be really, really, really good. It's just not. I'm sorry, y'all. I really am. I've been waiting all month for this card. It's such a cool mechanic. It is just not balanced enough to keep up in any kind of level of today's meta. Even if you're rank 40. I don't think this is a card you pursue right now. Because a lot of cool stuff is coming out next week. And a lot more relevant stuff is coming out next week. So, sorry, y'all. I'm sad about it too. Zombie Galacti, is garbage. That's all I got. I wish I had more. Man, he sucks.